Alright, for this round of commentary, we'll do Vore Movies 9 and 10. Vore Movie 9 is my personal favorite. I was really excited to be working on these around this time period. I think I shot them both in November or so of 2010. Part of the reason I like number 9 so much is that it was one I planned out in pretty good detail, and I pretty much got everything I wanted out of it, plus some, because Camilla proved to be a really, really good actress who was just a lot of fun to work with. Once I'd made up my mind to get back to shooting Vore, and once I had a commitment from Camilla, I came to this library a few days ahead of time and just paced around and blocked out all the shots I wanted and figured out where made the most sense to set up the camera and where each event should take place. And I even picked the book ahead of time. I picked Faust, which I don't know if Little Shop of Horrors is meant to be truly a direct allegory of that story, but it is kind of a deal with the devil type of thing, so I thought that made the perfect sense for a very loosely Little Shop of Horrors inspired monster. This library actually has several floors that are nearly identical. The stairway she came down from at the very beginning of the movie is not the same staircase that you see her trying to grab at the door and open. That door was always locked, and so I just blocked the shots out to make it look like she came down that set of stairs and then tried to come back to it. Actually, though, we just switched floors. So yeah, we probably utilized 3 or 4 different floors to make it look like there was only one that she was stuck on, but each one had different aspects to it that I liked. But yeah, I love movie 9. I usually send it as an example whenever I'm trying to recruit an actress. And usually after seeing this, they're like, oh, okay, I can do that. And we just take it from there. And getting back to the whole notion about plans being successful and feeling satisfying when they are, maybe it has to do more with the length of time that the plan's in my head. Because, like, if I have a plan and more time goes by and I just can't quite execute it, maybe the psychological burden gets heavier and heavier. Whereas if I'm shooting a movie on the fly, I guess you could look at it as I have a plan and then a minute later we film it versus me having the idea days or weeks or months ahead of time. So, I don't know. Planning is weird. It does feel like, though, that the more detail you put in or the longer you have to wait before you can execute the plan, the more and more uncomfortable the tension gets. So I try to save most of my planning for right up until the moment I'm shooting. To focus on movie 10 now, this is one I had a fairly detailed plan for as well, and thankfully I didn't have to wait a whole lot of time or make very many adjustments whenever I got to shoot with JC. Similar to movies 7 and 8, I actually shot this in reverse order. The very first scene we shot was the eating scene in the big parking lot during the daytime. Then we found a place for her to jog when the sun was setting and filmed the middle passage of the film. And this was actually the very last thing we filmed as the sun was going down. But I knew that when I was editing it, I would just present the scenes in reverse order to make it look like it was going from morning to late morning to late afternoon kind of thing. Now that I'm looking at this and thinking about it, I do like this story concept a lot, and I'm surprised I didn't do another scene like this. But yeah, I repeated the concepts in movies 4 and 7 and 8 and 9 quite a few times. I guess since I borrow from myself so much, I'm surprised I didn't do this. Maybe it's just because of the amount of time it took, because this did take like half a day. Like I've said before, I wasn't too worried about being efficient with time back then, so spending half a day on a single scene felt like a good use of a day. I do try to be more economic with my time, though. I don't know. Time and money are weird when it comes to creative endeavors. You can't not think about them. It's just too irresponsible to not have some conscious consideration of them, but if you think about them too much, then it sucks all the fun out of it. So, kind of like an 80-20 rule, I guess, maybe, where you only spend about 20% of your time thinking about the logistics and the costs, and the other 80% just trying to play. I'm so glad she was on board to do this whole plant licking her legs and feet fetish thing, or whatever her character's got going on here. I was trying to decide what I'd have the plant eat besides a person, and I don't know, I just grabbed a granola bar or whatever that was at a gas station and was like, oh, this'll work. It's got some protein in it. So this scene is the first one we filmed, and a very frustrating thing happened as we were shooting. We were pretty far away from any other car or building in this parking lot when we first got started, but around the time JC was starting to climb into the plant's mouth in the trunk, some other cars parked nearby, and I got the impression that they were there to meet each other, and maybe they thought my car was part of their entourage. They were just behind where I had the camera pointed, so you guys never see them, but they were there, and they were standing around and talking to each other, and as JC was climbing into the plant's mouth, they were like giggling and snickering at it, and I was getting, frankly, very angry about this whole thing, and I was tempted to either tell them to go fuck off or to move to another spot and just reshoot everything we'd done, but was also pressed for time, so I just grit my teeth and went along. But yeah, as is the case often with production difficulties, you can't really tell in the final product that I had that particular frustration. So I'm glad I stuck to my guns, and I'm pretty proud of this scene. But it was around this time that I had my first thought of trying to open a Vore store, and I pretty quickly lost my nerve and didn't try again for like a year. But this was more good practice for planning scenes and recruiting actresses and all that, and I wish I could have worked with each of them again. I almost got to work with Camilla again, actually, back in summer of 2017 or 2018, but we couldn't quite get our schedules to align, so didn't work out, but who knows? Maybe that'll change someday. Anyway, hope you found that interesting, and I'll see you next time.